everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Lunch and Life with Sharon and
Robin Joy.
And we decided, we thought what would be nice this week, starting off September and just, with Labor Day weekend and school and all this transition and everything that we've been talking about with anxiety and stress, we want to just share with you some really quick, simple tips in the kitchen to create bento boxes for lunch, for you, for your kids, as everybody transitions back, to somewhat
normal.
I don't know, right? What is it normal? I don't know.
I don't know, but you have to eat lunch. So
Exactly.
You might eat it at home. Your kids might be eating in school. We don't know.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I kind of thought before we get started, and Robin and I were sharing so many things about Lunchables, which we'll share with you in a minute. Talk about the importance of all the different nutrients, right? From a nutritionist standpoint, when you're looking at your bento box, and you can buy a bento box or you can use the kind that Robin's going to show us right there, the compartments, however you want to do it, even if it's like small containers, whatever works for you.
This is very large.
It's awesome, right? To be able to make your own lunch and to carry your own lunch bag. We're so conditioned in society to cut calories out, to cut food groups out, to stay away, too many carbs, too many fats. But the truth is, we need all of these nutrients. We need the fats, we need the proteins, we need the carbs, water, minerals, vitamins, because the nutrients in those are broken down and they feed our mitochondria. And the only way for us to have sustained energy is to make sure that we're eating from all food groups, but to make it healthy, right? So it's not like you're going for cookies for your carbs and your fat and your sugars, but healthy foods. And so many times I think people just get so caught up in thinking that, no, I can't because that's too much fat, but the body gets malnourished. And if it gets malnourished, the mitochondria isn't able to provide the energy, and and you won't be able to sustain it. And then, so eating like lots of vegetables with the fiber is going to help the satiety, so that you stay fuller for longer periods of time, right? We'll always come back to nutrient-dense foods. So I just wanted to preface all of this by just sharing that there's so many ways to do that, but the importance of making sure you do not cut out a food group.
Right.
Or nutrients.
Good point. I just wanted to say that you just triggered my science fears of mitochondria, like the ATP and all that sort of stuff. Like suddenly, Sharon, with all the talking we do, you've just triggered my science again.
There, the geeks in us. The nerdy geeks. Don't worry, you guys don't need to remember those terms, but just need to remember that your body needs these macronutrients, proteins, fats, and carbs. And because carbs, the glucose, the major natural form that glucose comes from is the photosynthesis from plants.
Exactly. And you bring up a really good point. And actually a good friend of mine brought this up, that she was the word that we both don't like, the diet thing, right? And that she limits her sugar. She doesn't eat sugar. Well, all foods, there's some sort of sugar, right? You want to obviously eat the natural and not anything processed. But as you were saying, you can't starve your body of things that it needs. Your mitochondria, all your systems need to process. So it needs the natural, it needs the good to go through the systems that it has to go through to feed your body and fuel it and give it good energy. So, she went through this whole thing of, I don't eat carbs and I won't eat sugar. And I looked and she had a smoothie right in front of me. She's having a smoothie and I didn't really want to Coke, but I'm like, but you're having good food. She put good stuff in her smoothie. And I was like, so what's in it? And I was like, so there are sugars and there's stuff in there, but you need that. And so I don't know, I just, the point being, everyone, is that you can't starve yourself. You just can't starve yourself and go like this blanket approach of, I'm going to eat only so many carbs a day or so many, grams of sugar a day. Like eat because it's good food that you're choosing to eat, not because you're calorie counting or, food group counting.
Right. Absolutely. And if anybody wants to have a discussion on the geeky, nerdy part of all of that, we're more than happy to have that with you too.
Yeah, we will.
We want to keep this though, like, let's just not go there because we don't want your eyes to glaze over. And we want to share some great ideas of how you can really be creative with these bento boxes. So my favorite thing, I have a lot of favorite things, so I should probably not say favorite thing, but I love siete wraps. And I like the almond flour, but there's chickpea flour, there's cassava flour, there's like cashew flour, there's so many. And what I do to warm is, because if you don't warm these up, they break. So I'll warm them up on a pan, generally, just over some heat to soften it. And then to make it simple, right? So you can have different types of proteins like chicken or wild fish, or even if you're going to buy cold cuts, I always want to choose something that's organic. And I want to make sure there are no nitrates and nitrites, because those mess with our cells. So you want to make sure that it's made without any fillers or binders and that it's organic. And this one happens to be animal welfare certified. So I put that down. And I can't really see because I'm in a different kitchen today. So I put that down. I didn't put avocado slices because I thought I had and I don't. But imagine, I'm going to show you my wrap. And then I have some string beans and I've got some roasted peppers. And I'm just going to put this together. And again, I really wish I could show you.
I'm going to stand on my toes to see.
I feel like I'm going to be closing my laptop if I do that, but but it's like when you make this, you don't need a lot of vegetables or a lot of food in this, but I'm massacring this. So it's a good thing you're actually not looking at this right now. But once you roll it up, it's, you have like all these vegetables in here. Well, string beans and red peppers, roasted red peppers, turkey, and you could put avocado in, right? So you've got and lettuce, there's lettuce in there. Mm-hmm. You've got chlorophyll, right? The photosynthesis, you've got the carbohydrates in your vegetables, the phytonutrients from the pepper, from the string beans, avocado, healthy fat, turkey, good protein in a nice wrap. Mm-hmm. That could be like a base of what your bento box is. And again, you can fill it with whatever vegetables you want. And then you can put in the other parts of it, other crunchy vegetables. I love this. Wait, cauliflower. All these colors, look at this. It's like orange and purple and yellow and green. It's like, oh my.
That's a great thing to even think about, like, if you're going to purchase something like that, because whether it's just for yourself or you're making lunch for 5 to go, there's plenty in that for a side portion for everybody to take with them. It stays fresh. You can pack it up. I actually, I eat a lot of hummus and tahini and a lot actually. So for me, like having that kind of thing, either with cauliflower or actually add radishes or broccoli or carrot sticks, that's like a side for me. And tomatoes, that's always like a standard side for me.
Yeah,
it goes in a nice little corner in my bento box.
And to your points, like of the hummus, right? So chickpeas, so it's more protein, and being creative with different types of vegetables, because the crunch helps you to slow down.
Too.
What?
It's satisfying to chew it.
Very satisfying. And so when you have these and you have the fiber, you get fuller faster. Protein fills you up the fastest, the soonest, and then the fats fill you up, gives you the satiety along with the carbs, and then the fiber. So it stretches it out to a good 3 to 4 hour window, where if you do have this combo, you're not going to need anything else. And then if if you're hungry and you want some, you can put the watermelon, you can put, wild blueberries, fruits, so colorful.
Yeah, it is. Blueberries are great. Apples are a little bit hard in kids' lunch boxes because they change colors. And if you have little ones, then they're like, I don't want to eat brown fruit. Understandable. Little clementines are always good. Watermelon's great because of course it's seasonal. And something like that, you can make the little watermelon salad like we did. You can put a little bit of feta and a little fresh mint. And again, you get different flavors and colors. And if you're working with a little, this is all from takeout food somewhere along the line. When it's a good container, I save it. But you can put it in a small container.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because Robin, remember we were talking before we started recording about actually even last time about Lunchables.
We did. So I have 3 kids like Sharon. My oldest, I think, bought lunch, well, more than anybody, but a few times and then gave it up. My younger 2 refused from day one, going to school, refused. So I think really ate peanut butter and jelly most of all. We talked about my youngest and one of yours didn't like the crust. So literally had to take the crust off the bread. But I did give in and I did buy Lunchables way back when. Hopefully they changed what was in it because it was all processed.
But isn't it interesting that like when we don't have that awareness and we don't know, we look for something that can be appealing to our kids, that's
Right.
and simple, and we think it's healthy. And so we don't look at the ingredients. We don't really, look at what they're serving. And of course, now in hindsight, it's like, oh my God, what was I doing? Why did I stop?
Something you can even, if you do have younger kids, you can make your own Lunchable. Like take a piece of turkey and roll it up with whatever cheese you want, or lettuce rolls or something like that, and slice it up, and it now becomes finger food.
Right. And there's so many different types of crackers as well, because kids do like texture, a lot of them, not everybody. So, to your point of doing a roll without the bread, of just the soft, for kids who like soft, and then for those
Right.
who like crunch, and you don't want to add the lettuce because they're like, I don't want lettuce. You can always have crackers and offer some other crunchy food with it. And
Mm-hmm.
if they do want some sort of a dessert or something sweet and they're not in the mood for always having fruit, it's okay to, do like a dark chocolate or a healthier version
Right.
of something that's out there, because we do want it to be balanced and we want them to be happy.
We do. We want them happy, and we want their attention span to last more than a couple of hours. And a lot of kids actually, I noticed it was school scheduled. It seems to be my youngest had lunch the latest, which makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
But make sure they have a few extra things and a few extra the protein, and whether it's fruit or something that they can have and still have abundantly later as well, because they're hungry. And you don't want them either to eat everything up front and have nothing later, or have nothing up front and be exhausted later.
Right. And, it's interesting because that just made me think about breakfast. My kids used to eat cereal or waffles.
Mm-hmm.
Who knew? And again, it's like waffles are fast and easy, and cereal, well, that, bowl, milk, whatever. But our kids these days are exhausted, right? They have this rush and then they have the crash, which, you sharing that like made me think of, what else can you give them for breakfast, right? So of course we want to just keep it simple, pick one meal. Let's start with the lunch box. But then once you get into that habit and routine with them, then you can be like, okay, what can I do to improve another meal in the house?
Right. And I think one thing, and we talk about this when we do cooking anyways, and we are trying to stay around lunch, but when you're shopping on the weekend, have them go with you, have them pick out the fruit, and have them have them shop with you and start teaching them to read a label and just to observe.
Yeah. Yeah. And if your kids are old enough, have them write out the shopping list.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like they're part of it, and then they can walk like a detective with the pad or the paper, and they can check off everything once you buy it. And for the ones who can't, you can color code things so that they can find things that are color coded. Like there's always a fun way. And most importantly, never go food shopping when you're hungry.
Right. And another thing though, it's important for you to eat lunch, right? Whether you're still working from home, or you're dropping off a kid and you're going to a meeting, or you're working in the office, you still have to fuel your body, that you don't have that crash. So if it's a wrap, or when you're making your kids lunch, you're going to make yourself lunch, or you're taking a salad and you don't dress it until lunchtime. Make sure you have those kind of good, a healthy lunch, and then a couple of good, healthy snacks around you that you don't want to then go binge on the non-healthy version.
Right. Absolutely. And yeah. Anything else that you want to add?
No, but I'm eating through a bag of apricots. I love apricots.
I love dried, but I also love just fresh apricots.
Me too.
Oh my God, I could eat those. Unfortunately, like if you eat too many of those, that can upset your stomach, but
there's other issues at hand, but
yes, even watermelon. I am a huge watermelon fan, and if you eat too much watermelon, even that can upset your stomach. Anything, too much of anything,
yeah, exactly,
right, can upset your stomach. So if so there's just some ideas if you want to do something different for your lunch boxes. It doesn't have to be salad.
Right. So give it some thought. Get creative. Save your next time you do a takeout or something like that. Save the container. You don't have to invest a lot in buying that perfect bento box, or
yes, you want to, and that's okay too.
Amazon, we have no affiliation, but there were some very, very cute, we almost bought some because there were some very cute styles. Pretty reasonable too. We were looking at them.
Yeah.
Very, very cute ones.
Absolutely. So let us know what you do, what you think, if it spurred any ideas for you. And of course, subscribe, like, share. Let us know what else you want to hear from us. We would love to hear from you. And it was always, as always, great unpacking lunch with you, Robin.
Great unpacking lunch with you, Sharon.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.